fourth point that I want to close with is this. We see that Jesus views God's wrath towards sinners as a greater problem than physical death. Jesus views God's wrath towards sinners as a far greater problem than physical death. What are your biggest problems today? Want to lose a few pounds? Trying to find somebody to marry? Maybe your biggest problem is the person you married. That happens, right? Or maybe your biggest problem is the person that you and your spouse created, those children. Maybe it's your mortgage. You know, there's just a long list. I've got you started thinking about the list. You're not even thinking about me now. You're not even hearing me. You're just, oh yeah, I got a list. I got a lot of problems. Maybe it's your health. You know, in all seriousness, there are some real problems represented in this room. But I think we can all agree death is a bigger problem. Right? Death is a pretty big problem. None of us would say, I got to choose between trouble paying my mortgage and dying. Right? Death is a big problem, but you know what? There's something bigger than death. Why did Jesus come? You know, if Jesus is a savior, what did he come to save us from? Well, what's the biggest problem we face? We all die. Good people, bad people, at the end, some point, we die. It's just, have you noticed this? If you notice this about humanity, we all die. Is that the biggest problem? Well, evidently it's not, because Jesus didn't end his mission on this day when he raised Lazarus from the dead. He demonstrated his power over physical death. And you know what? Whatever problem you have, sweetie, is not that bad, all right? We'll pray for you. You're doing good. But you know what? You could think, okay, Jesus can raise Lazarus from the dead. Let's just stop the story there, you know? All right, let's just all hang out with Jesus. Whenever one of us dies, he's like, hey, come out. And we come back, and we're like, woo, I'm back. Oh, yeah. But you see, Jesus didn't just stay there. Because there was a bigger problem in Lazarus' life than the fact that he died physically. Listen to what Jesus said in Luke chapter 12, verses 4 and 5. He said, I tell you, my friends, do not be afraid of those who kill the body, and after that can do no more. But I will show you whom you should fear. Fear him who after killing the body has power to throw you into hell. Yes, I tell you, fear him. Jesus is saying, let me tell you what your real problem is. Your real problem is not that you're going to die. Your real problem is that after you die, you're going to stand before God. And God has the power not only to end your life, but to punish you for eternity. And because of your sin, because of your wickedness, you deserve that punishment. It's what the book of Revelation calls the second death. It's what we describe as hell. It's God's righteous, holy judgment towards those who have dishonored, disobeyed, rebelled against him. And you know, people hate talking about hell. But when we think about the atrocities committed in this world, when we think about all the wickedness that people got away with, we want there to be a hell, don't we? Deep down inside of us, there's something that says this is not right. That dictators wipe out whole countries and whole people groups. It's not right when young girls are victimized and abused. It's not right when people are swindled and cheated and murdered. And in that moment, we want a righteous, holy God, don't we? But you see, there's a problem with this righteous, holy God who punishes sin. And that problem is that we're sinners. We've disobeyed. We have broken God's commands. And so Jesus comes to us and he says, I've come to fulfill a mission that's even bigger than conquering physical death. It's to rescue you from eternal death. There is nothing that you can do to save yourself from the judgment you deserve. There's no way for God to stop being a righteous judge, because for him to allow sin would be for the universe to collapse. He would cease to be God. He would not be holy. He would not be true and right and just. And so Jesus comes and announces the most incredible thing, an idea, a plan that you and I would never dream of. And that is God himself, in the person of Jesus Christ, takes the punishment and the wrath and the justice that we deserve, so that God's holiness and his justice can be satisfied, and so that guilty people like you and me can be forgiven. This is what we call the gospel. We call it good news. And it is really good news.